Acer Aspire 315. This is a super cheap, affordable laptop, cost around $300 or even less. I am shocked how well this laptop is actually built and how well it's actually performing. So normally I review business class laptops somewhere between $1,000 to $4,000 on this channel pretty frequently. Here and there I have a budget laptop in a $300 category. Hands down, this is the best build quality. Performance wise is definitely not there, but build quality wise and battery wise, this thing is amazing. So I am shocked to see how well this laptop is actually holds up when I try to open the hinges, when I try to see if there is any movement in a laptop body, is anything twisting, crackling, none of that. This thing is solid as it gets. If you would cover all these stickers and I would have to guesstimate how much this laptop cost, I would say like $700–800 least. The keyboard, it feels a little bit cheap, but this is $300 or sub $300. I have no issues whatsoever. The touchpad also works, no problem. This is not a backlit keyboard, which I wish it would. The most annoying part of this laptop when I test it and run benchmarks and try to figure out how long the battery lasts is the battery test, because this thing on a battery refused to die. I clocked 14 hours on one charge without even using a battery saver. No, I did not gaming, I did not run applications. Normally what I do is just pull up YouTube in a single tab in a browser and just put the screen in 70% brightness and see how long the laptop lasts. This thing lasts for 14 hours. In a business class computer, we're going to compare just one feature against each other on these two computers. This is an HP EliteBook, a professional business class machine. This thing lasts maybe 9.5 hours. Obviously the performance and a CPU and a graphics card configuration is very different, but if you need a couch, a cruiser, this thing does not overheat. The fan barely ever works. It's not gonna scream, it's not gonna annoy you. This thing is surprisingly quiet and surprisingly cool. It is not getting crazy hot when you even keep it on your lap, which I normally don't do or don't recommend. The regards of ports, let's get through what we have here. So first of all, we have a Kensington lock, we have a USB 3.2 ports, we have a headphone and mic in and out, we have two lights, one of them that the laptop is on, the other one is for charging, and on the other side we have the actual charging port, which is not part of the motherboard. If you trip through this cord, this port still can be replaceable fairly cheaply. So big thumbs up for that. We have a USB-C port in here, which also works as a charging port. So if you have a USB-C charger, you can definitely charge this laptop. And we have an HDMI out, and we have another USB 3.2. We have a AMD processor in here with 4 cores and 8 threads. We have an integrated Radeon Graphics card, which is barely capable. I couldn't even run 3D Mark or anything really meaningful test to see how well it holds up. Nothing really works with this integrated graphics card. It's just enough to have your screen. Now, can you run like Minecraft? Can you run like Roblox? You can definitely run games. I'm going to include a little list. Actually, this thing is capable to run older games just fine. And there are thousands of games which are still running on it. This machine has 8 gigs of DDR5 RAM and it's integrated. There is no slots. You cannot add more RAM to it. When I'm browsing with this machine, I am shocked how well this thing performs. I'm opening, here's a little video. I'm opening a browser tab one after another. I don't know how many tabs I actually ended up opening it, but this thing is crazy fast. The solid state is not the fastest thing. It's actually probably the lowest performing solid state I ever seen, because I'm looking at all day, every day, a laptop between $1,000 to $4,000. So my expectation is a little bit different, but not in this price range. I'm actually shocked how well this laptop performs, how long the battery lasts, and how well is everything built in here. The screen quality is not the greatest, definitely. It's probably a 220 nit screen. The view angle is okay. Colors, sharp. The screen is actually okay with that. So this is a $1,000 to maybe a $2,000 business class laptop, and it does the same thing. The hot air is not escaping on a side just like in here because it's so thin. The ports are here, we have no space, so we have to push everything out in here. However, I have some users complaining that the hot air is coming out right here, but when you shut the lid down, the hot air is nowhere to go. We are blocking it. So when a user tries to use this just to put it up on a big screen or a big TV or a projector and just use a mouse and keyboard, technically using as a workstation mode, they can't, because it's overheat, because the hot air cannot escape the laptop. And this 300 budget laptop combats that, because they have this vent in here which is uncovered all the time. Now maybe HP or Dell or Lenovo thinks that this doesn't look cool. I think it's perfectly acceptable, and I have no problem with this, that we have this opening in here. Not only that, we have also a larger opening on this side when the laptop screen is open. So obviously we are putting the hot air on the bottom of the screen. This will not make the screen fail. That's gonna not cause no issues whatsoever. As a matter of fact, this thing is cool and quiet. Surprisingly quiet. So if you're looking at the monitor, yes, this is definitely not the best screen quality what you ever seen, but for $300 this is perfectly acceptable. There's no issues in here whatsoever. The keyboard works fine. I wish it would be a backlit keyboard, but this $300 or sub $300, sometimes this thing is $280. So the keyboard works fine. It is obviously feels on a cheaper side, but when you do the ultimate YouTuber test, man, this thing does not move. Everything inside this laptop has reinforcement. It's the same plastic as the material of the laptop, and it's great. Whoever designed this thing is great. Let me talk about the speakers. Like any Dell or HP laptop in the past 2 years, if I just try to come in here and go to this little speaker in here and try to change the volume on a speaker, when I do this on a $1,000 or $2,000 machine, the sound is disoriented. The speakers are resonating inside the laptop. We don't have that issue in here. This thing is obviously not a lot of speakers. We have 2 down-firing speakers in here, and I can't believe that it's not doing like what the $1,000 laptop. I have to point out that is not acceptable. This thing does not has that extra vibration or disoriented sound. Obviously there are no bass coming out, but it's perfectly capable. I had no problem to run Minecraft. I have no problem to run Roblox and other small games. So obviously AAA titles will never work. So Scott, you just said great things about this laptop. It's reasonably fast. The battery lasts forever. It's 14 hours. You can speed browsing through the internet, and the build quality is awesome. So where is the catch? It has to be somewhere, right? It's $300. It's super affordable. Well, there is actually 2 things I have to point out. One of them, this machine comes with Windows Home in S mode, which means it's in a restricted mode. You're not going to be able to install Chrome or a free Office or any other applications which are outside of the Windows Store. So technically, Scott, you're telling me after all this that it's locked down to the Windows Store and I can only use Microsoft approved applications? Yes. However, I'm going to show you a video how to remove this machine from Windows S mode without any kind of hacking, any kind of workaround. We're just gonna do the right thing, and it takes about 3 minutes. So there is no reason to worry about the Windows S mode. It's super easily removable without giving your personal data or data access to Microsoft or any other company. I will show you in the next video. It's very easy. The other thing is the Windows S mode can be very, very handy because it's a restricted mode. If you have a child, you have an older person, somebody who's not tech savvy, this S mode will protect the person to be able to get hacked or let somebody else remote into the PC easily. So this is a very good solution actually. But if you're somebody who's afraid to create an online account and pull this machine out of Windows S mode, I have a very, very easy to follow solution. Please watch my next video. Other than that, the solid state drive in this machine is super small. It's only 128 gig. Now, if you're just using this machine for remote work, for browsing and shopping and emailing, this is perfectly usable. But if you have a lot of family photos, you want to back up your phone to this machine, it is not going to happen. The storage is not good enough. Now, if you're tech savvy, you can just drop a 1 terabyte drive into this machine for $50, $80, reinstall the operating system or ask for professional help to reinstall the operating system, and you're good to go. You can also back up the drive as it is and restore on a new drive. So there are options, but if you, in general, who's not tech savvy and have a lot of data, this machine will not going to be for you. You have to look somewhere else. Any kind of recommendation, find me in a comment section. I'm always happy to help. Thank you so much for your time. I see you in the next video. Scott's out.